Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you for being a sponsor. I look forward to doing these like all month long. I'm like, man, in fact, I've been thinking about doing these, like integrating these into the actual live streams. So instead of you guys just like in the chat, talking on like the regular live streams, like actually having you guys call in and doing that. So if you have feedback on that, I'd love to hear how you think that would work. But before we get into that, you guys, this is your time for us to talk, for you to call in, for us to spend some time actually literally talking together. The phone number is on the screen. It's also in the description below this video. You can find it there. It's 5, if you're in the US, it's 513-609-4231. I move out of the way, or there you can see a little bit better. And if you're outside the U.S., you need to put that 1 in there. And long distance charges may apply, but that's how you call in. So we got someone here already. We're gonna pick them up in just a second. But feel free, even while I'm on the calls here, guys, just call in and you'll just get added to the queue. And then I'm just gonna go from one call to the next. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We've got this. Last month we had some kinks in the systems. Our first time to do it, but we've ironed all those out. We even did a test run before this right here, and so this hopefully should just be a smooth operation for you guys. And so before we dive in, though, I would like to hear from you guys in the chat about what you think about me making like letting sponsors call in to my normal public live streams. I would love to do it, but my main concern is that someone will become a sponsor, get the phone number, share it publicly in the chat of the public live stream, and then all of a sudden we're just kind of like overwhelmed with calls, and then I have to change the phone number for the next one, and that's the main concern I have, is kind of the hassle that might create. But I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat about this. So welcome all of you guys, Mike, Hunterville, Chris, Patty, Royal Learning Time, good to have you. And yeah, so this is going to be fun. This is super like chill because there's not too many of us here. And so we all get to hopefully have some time to just to work with each other. Okay, let's take the first call here from let me switch it here from Edmund Ab. So hello, Edmund. How are you, man?
Yeah, let's take the first call here.
Is it Edmonton? Did I say that right?
Hello? I'm sorry?
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve. I feel like I need to say that because I'm a Dave Ramsey guy, but it's good to see you or hear you. So what's your question? What are we talking about here?
Okay, so I'm actually I'm about between 4 and 5 months in now with my channel, and I have about just a little more than 9 months to get this going full time. If you know what I mean.
9 months. So you're 4 months in. You got 9 months left. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, my wife and I, like our family is getting much bigger, and she's got a more important job than I do. So I'm going to be switching the roles up, and I'll be home with the kids.
Oh, okay. So you want to know how you're going to pull that off?
My income. Yeah. What would be like just one best tip for a new person? Something you might have implemented right off the start. That you could go back and do it.
So if you go back to episode number 1 on my podcast, on Video Creators Podcast, that gives more details about how I did it and the story behind it. 'Cause I was in a similar situation where I was doing YouTube audience development full time for a company here in Dallas, or where am I now? Cincinnati. But the company's kind of changing directions, and they're like, Tim, we love you, but in 6 months from now, you're not going to have a job. And we had 2 little kids at the time, so very similar situation. I had 6 months. So I started Video Creators in January 2nd, 2013 is when I created the channel. I launched it in February, and then that's when I put a business model around it, launched it, and by 6 months in, it was generating $10,000 a month, which was awesome. I was like, dude, I should have quit my real job a long time ago, right? So that goes more into that story, and Now I don't get to keep. I don't get to earn that much myself. I have other people on my team that I pay and things, right? But at the beginning, it was a good launch that got me started. So a couple of things that were helpful for me: one, knowing exactly what value I wanted to provide, and two, knowing who my target audience was and how I was going to monetize that audience. So tell me a little bit about the channel you're trying to grow.
Okay, it's a construction-based channel. Trying to, it's a little hard in our industry starting out. You don't need a degree or anything to start in it. So it's very hard to learn things because of the older generation. They had to struggle to get to where they are, and they're really reluctant to give new people information for free. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, to learn, you have to pay money, and it costs lots of money. So I'm out there I'm offering free training to help people, starting out. And so my target audience would be the kids, 17 to 24 would be my target age. And, I just like to be there for them, for support. Right, because there's a lot of big decisions that you can make the wrong one and go the wrong way, right?
So when you say construction, what do you mean by construction?
Right, yes, I do large commercial, industrial type of construction. So it's union and non-union type of work, it's. Sorry. I'm watching your lips on the screen. There's a little delay.
Yeah, it's delayed. Yeah, so that's why I tell people when you call in, the producer tells you to make sure you put the video on mute. And,
it's on mute for sure. Yeah. I just, there's a lot of people who can take advantage of you in the industry, and you got to really just, watch yourself. You got to be safe, and obviously the accident incident rate is high among young people, and I just like to help lower that number.
So are these people going into it with a career goal, or are they going into it like when they go into construction, are they looking to improve how they do construction or more about the industry, or are they just kind of like, you know what, I would actually really love to do this other thing, but I can't get that job right now, so I'm just doing construction until I can get out of this?
Right. Yes. It's definitely, it's a kind of both. Construction attracts career people who want to do it forever, but it also attracts a lot of people who are trying to earn money for their post-secondary education or other training.
Okay.
So those would be the two.
So is it fair to say that the people who are looking to do this for a career are probably more likely to be the ones that would engage on a YouTube video and start watching a channel about that?
Yes, and my theory is because of the difference now with the younger kids growing up with YouTube, they would be kind of more comfortable on this platform, reaching out.
So what's the main value you're going to give them? Why are they going to watch you? Like you say, hey, subscribe to my channel because...
Information and training. I started when I was 15. That was 24 years ago, as a laborer in really huge industrial construction, and I worked my way through. I spent a lot of money on my education, and I had a journeyman in 2 trades. I'm a project manager. Also, I have my own company as well, and so I know what it's like to do the piecework and the contracting and work your way through the ranks. So there's a lot of information I can give somebody for free to help them get there quicker, so they can make the money, right? Because in construction, it's about knowing and then having tools and equipment, right?
Yeah. So it seems to me that what you should be doing is not focusing on what you're doing, but why you're doing it, because that'll have more meaning to people. So instead of saying, hey guys, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to give you information about construction, instead it should be what's the end result or the reward or the goal that they have. That's what you should tap into. So subscribe to my channel because we're going to help you grow your career without spending all the money that you would normally have to spend on education or something. You know, so the focus is on like
Very
growing your career rather than, you know, some of these other things. So that's probably
right.
where I would start. But to make the money
Okay.
side, like you have a product wrapped around this.
I just affiliate marketing is my main thing. I'm not, you know, going to come up with my own line of tools or something. Maybe down the line, I'm thinking of doing construction clothing, like Carhartt type thing. But I would like to get, you know, some brand deals going down the line with the actual tools that we use, because there's a lot of selection, and we really only use a few of those brands, right, out of the hundreds that are available. So to know what, you know, what to use, you know, it's actually could be quite helpful, because you spend money on something that doesn't do the job properly. You know, you gotta go buy something else, whatnot. So
yeah, it sounds to me like with an educational value like that putting together like a video course would be something that would make natural sense. That you know, with your audience, talk about that. And you're like, hey, so here this like same way I did it, Video Creators, which was 30 days to a better YouTube channel was my first product. It was an ebook, but
yeah, I'm on that.
I would recommend the ebook product if you have a YouTube audience. Like they probably want a video course, and it's easier for you to make as a creator as well. So, you know, I don't know what the product would be for you. 30 days to a construction pay raise, or next promotion, or starting your own construction business, or something, you know, but that's where you're going to make the money. So, well, there's two ways. One is either the making is from the course sales, or it's going to be from like especially when you're starting out, it's the one-on-one consultations, where people just like, hey, this has been really helpful. I want to talk with you about what I'm doing on my channel. Can I pick your brain, or can I buy you coffee? And you're like, nope, you can't, but you can go through this session here, you know? Because you get a lot of people buying you coffee, which doesn't feed your kid. Just makes you have to go to the bathroom later is all. So that's
right.
So yeah. And so integrating that with like providing a lead magnet from your channel, which would be like a free video course, like a free 3-part video series on something that they get when they sign up. And then you have email sequences in place to start leading them into a sale for your paid course, and kind of going from there. But that's the way you're going to do it. Cool. You're not going to make it by AdSense. You're not going to make it through, affiliates, and you could possibly make it through sponsorships, but you're going to need a big audience to do that. And if you don't have a big audience, like, you might as well just become your own sponsor and have your own product that you plug and keep 100% of the profit instead. So perfect. Cool.
That's actually really great, Tim. I appreciate that. That definitely helps a lot, actually.
Yeah. And
cool. Cool.
I don't normally do this, but I have a whole video course called How to Turn YouTube into Your Career. So since you're a sponsor and since this is a small group, can I just give it to you for free and you can go through it? Because I want you to be able to support your family. Yeah, like you're going to say no. You're like, no, don't give it to me, Tim. Jeez. That's when people like go out to eat. They're like, could I get and they're like, no, you cannot get that, but I could go get it for you. Right.
That's great.
But yeah, so how about you email me to tim@videocreators.com and I'll send you a code. You can go check out Turn YouTube into Your Career and go through that. That'll kind of give you this in more detail, the step-by-step process of how you integrate that into your channel and kind of how to craft those emails and all that kind of stuff.
Wow, that's great, Tim. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you being a sponsor. So thank you.
No problem.
Right,
I'm a patron and everything. So
sweet.
Yeah, definitely like what you do. So.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your support here, and I really hope it helps you and your family reach your goals. So, and good for you for being there for your kids. I know not enough dads do that, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's a tough job. Kids are, it's not easy.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, cool. We're gonna talk to Melody here next. But thanks for calling in.
Yeah, you bet, Tim. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Oh yeah.
Here we go to Melody. Make sure I don't hang up on her. Hello, Melody.
Hi.
Hey, you put your computer on mute back there. This is a little tricky.
I did.
So one of the things I had to figure out is how to hang up on one person without it hanging up on the next person too. But I got it. so you're next. It's good to talk with you. Were you at VidCon by any chance?
I was not.
Okay. Well, we missed you there.
I haven't made it there yet.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, what's your question? What are we talking about here?
I want to know about your phone system. I also have sponsors and love this idea of calling in.
Yeah.
And want to do the same thing.
Okay.
So what kind of phone system are you using? Because I don't think you're giving out your cell phone.
Well, how do you know? You might be. No, it's not. So you guys who are watching, no one is in queue. Oh, we do have one more person in queue. So you guys can just call whenever you guys are watching the stream. Just call in whenever you want, and we'll get you in line. So the way I'm doing it is I actually searched high and low and long, and I experimented with a lot of different options. But then I found a free option to do it, and it's actually the best one yet. So I'm using a service called DialPad. It's dialpad.com, # not sponsored. And it lets you it's designed to be like a call-in system for like a company or a business without having to set up all the infrastructure of telephones and wires and complicated call routing software and servers and all that. So it all works online. So the way I set it up is I have it set so that when someone calls in when we're offline, it just goes straight to voicemail recording of me saying, hey, we're not streaming right now, but thanks for being a sponsor and call back when we're doing it, something like that. Then when we do go live, I switch it to route all calls to a different line, which is Trina, who's producing this, and you talk to her first. And the reason why we did that is so that she can kind of make sure the audio quality is good when you call in, make sure that you speak English in a way that I can understand, make sure you have a question that's not something we just didn't like, that we didn't just talk about, or isn't something that's like totally off topic, or question that I can't really help you with, which would be like, hey, YouTube, won't reset my password, or, my AdSense got taken away. Can you get it back for me? Like those types of questions. I'm like, no, you need YouTube support. So she's there. Trina's there to kind of just moderate the calls that come in, and then after she kind of goes through the script that she went through with you, then she places you in my queue, and so I can see here that I'm talking to you, and then I have Ralph from New Jersey next, and he wants to talk about live streaming on a kids channel, and that's the producer sends me those notes as well here in DialPad, so that I can see who the next call is, what's coming up, so I can kind of prep for it or introduce it or something, And so then when I'm done with you, I'll hang up with you, and then I'll pick up on Ralph, and we'll just kind of keep going down the queue until time's up.
And all of that is free?
It's free. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it works on any computer?
Yep, any computer. You just need a microphone and a computer just like you have. I picked the phone number I wanted, which is the one I picked the Cincinnati number, but you can pick a number from anywhere. The downside to this, which I didn't really think about until later, are people who are from Canada or from another country like UK or something. How do they call in? That makes it a little bit more difficult. I wanted it to be on a phone and not a software because I wanted it to be super easy for people. I didn't want to have them go download something and create an account and then search for my name. And then, all that just sounded like too much of a hassle. Just pick up your phone. You know how to make a phone call and call in. But that does make it maybe a little bit, I don't know the right word, it's not restrictive, but for people in other countries, unless they can do like a call in through their Skype account or Google Voice or something like that. So then the way I get it onto the live stream is you live stream pretty regularly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you use Wirecast? for it?
OBS.
OBS. You can probably do it with OBS too. I had to create like a virtual audio source in Dialpad. Are you on Mac or PC?
Mac.
Okay. So on Mac, I use something called Sound Siphon, and I think it's like $50 or something. So that part's not free. But with Sound Siphon, I can just take the audio from Dialpad and make another audio source from it. And then in the live streaming software, I just add that additional audios. Like in OBS, for example, just add it to the scene, add that audio source to the scene, and then their audio comes through.
Okay.
So one downside is that there's no way for me to mute you. Like if you just keep talking, I'm like, I'm done with this conversation or whatever. Like if I just need to, have you ever listened to like Dave Ramsey by any chance on the radio?
Yeah.
So you know how he kind of keeps talking and the viewer's already been put on mute, right?
Yeah.
So or for you in OBS is you create like another scene that does not include the audio source from Dialpad.
Oh, yeah.
So that way, if I just need to, I can just click to my mute scene, and then I can keep talking. I'll still hear the person talking through Dialpad, but the audience won't. And then I can just hang up if I need to. But
okay, that works.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions about that?
I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah. Any questions about it? Or?
I have 94 sponsors right now. I'm really excited about the sponsor thing.
94? That's amazing.
Yeah.
When did you get access to it?
A little over a month ago.
Wow, good for you. I think I made it up to 50, and now I'm kind of plateaued at 50. I haven't really plugged it that often either, but it's kind of let me go look exactly, but it kind of like I gain a few, lose a few type of thing. So it's been kind of
yeah, I've lost a few too.
Yeah, and you can't tell. Yeah, same deal. So I'm at 46 right now. So gain a few, lose a few. But yeah, I think over time it'll just grow, and I need to find a better way of integrating it into my content better as well.
Well, so. I do live classes every Saturday, and everyone's using the emojis, and they're little characters and stuff that people love who watch my channel.
Yeah. Cool.
So some are doing them just for the emojis and the badge.
Yeah. Great.
And so I talk about it at the beginning of my videos because people are asking how they got those. Yeah,
that's really good. And you serve them very well. You integrate it very well. That's my first problem with Patreon, and then they'll go to Ralph here. But my first problem was having perks that were hard for me to, that didn't require like a ton of time. Like they just were expensive to pull off. And then I didn't integrate it very well into my content either. So, all right.
Well, my sponsors get my number one thing from Patreon, that they like to share my files because we're crafting.
Right.
So that gets them.
Yeah. Well, good for you. Well, thanks for calling in, Melody. It's good talking with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll catch up soon.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Next up, we've got Ralph. Hey, Ralph. How are you, man? You are on with me on the phone. Oh, and then he just hung up. Okay. Well, let's go to Julie instead. And let's see here. Here we go. Hey, Julie. How are you?
Hey, good.
Hey, good to talk with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting exciting.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Colorado. This is Julie from No Huddle Life.
Okay, great. No Huddle Life. Hey, good to see you.
Yeah.
Or hear from you. Yeah. So for those of you guys who aren't aware, No Huddle Life, have you launched it yet or not quite yet?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Like a week or two.
Yeah. So Julie and her husband are putting together one of the most ambitious projects I have seen on YouTube for a long time. It's an outdoor, like an inspirational outdoor show for people who just like want to get out of the cubicle, get out of their desk, and just go explore and get in shape and and enjoy life. And they have like a whole e-commerce store they've built around it and branded products, and it's going to be, it's going to be amazing. So is that an accurate pitch?
Yeah, that is right, and I love the ambitious. Yes.
It's pretty ambitious, but you guys, I mean, you're investing into it, so you're gonna pull it off. So tell us about what we're talking about here.
The question I have is, so we have the channel, which is inspirational blog at stories. We don't want to send people off the channel to go to our e-commerce store, but we're doing some videos that are like Bill showing the stuff that we are selling that we do want to take people off the stores. We do want to create ads on them. And would we do a separate channel for products so we don't get dinged with sending people off YouTube?
No, I wouldn't, because you want the same audience who's loving your main content to then go buy from you.
Yeah.
So I would integrate the products naturally into the content, like I know you will, but and you can have a link in the description, but it's not a hard sell. It's not like the goal at the end of every video is like, so go to our website and buy this shirt and this kayak and this whatever. It's more like just integrated and maybe like a lower third that has your website or something. Just kind of more like FYI, you could buy this if you wanted to, like in the content. And then
exactly. So that's what we want on that. But then the ones I have in questions, they're actually like, we went out with this dryland paddleboard with this guy, and it was really fun, and he showed us how to do it. And then we did just straight up, okay, tell me about this, like as they were more ads, but more info ads. So they weren't like a story, but they were really different.
Yeah, that would be like a sales video. If it's just mostly like, is it mostly just like an ad you're publishing, basically?
Yeah, we got ads, and then if we put them on the store vlogs, then that are like really going into description, so they're totally not story related. They're like, hey, we're talking about the product.
Yeah, you could, I would experiment just by publishing them, unless it's it feels like it's a different value proposition for a different audience, then maybe not. But in that case, you'd probably be better off making them unlisted, and then making it an unlisted video and then running it as a paid ad or something like that. But what I would do is make maybe one in every 5 videos, just like this is a sales video, so or let's say once a month. So maybe you're posting 1 episode a week, and then you're gonna have 1 video every month that's doing a sale on a certain product or promoting a certain thing, or it's still in the same vein, the same value as your channel, but it's just the call to action at the end is to actually go buy something instead of watch another video or subscribe. So that way you won't lose the SEO value of your other videos, which you're trying to get them to rank and perform. So you don't want to make those the main goal to end the viewing session for people. So like I did a video last week or 2 weeks ago on my channel about Video Labs live here in Cincinnati, and the whole goal of that video is like, this event is happening, go to vclabs.com and apply to be a part of it, so that's just the whole point of the video. So that helped. I'm not really quite sure if that was what you're thinking or not.
Well, that's kind of, but we have more videos than that, because it's almost like 2 separate things we're trying to do.
Yeah, then
but
I would
combine them, so that's where I'm confused.
Yeah, those other videos I would make them unlisted videos on your channel and then run them as paid ads at that point.
Okay.
As remarketing campaigns, to your existing people who have watched one of your videos already. Okay.
Cool. And then if we put those videos on the website, like on the product pages that are kind of going over the how cool the product is and why you'd want this, so it would have to be an embedded one. So like those.
You can embed an unlisted video.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep. Same code.
Thank you so much.
It just works on the page. It's just not showing up on your channel or to subscribers. That's all.
There you go. There you brilliant.
Got it?
There you go. Thank you. Yes, good.
Right,
Thank
cool.
you.
All right, good talking with you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's see here. Up next, we have Ralph. He got hung up on last time, so let's see if we can get Ralph in here this time. Hey, Ralph, how are you, man?
Hey, Tim.
Hey,
how are you?
This time. Sorry, I guess it got hung up on. I had to look into
No problem.
that part of the system.
Technology has not been my friend this week anyway. So my iPhone busted, my computers aren't working, so it's been an adventure, no pun intended.
Yeah, so tell me what you want to talk about here, live streaming on your kid channel.
Yeah, so, obviously with you and I have talked about and Train have talked about is I have to, because of how competitive my space is, I have to get to the daily uploads, if not more. I'm at 5 uploads right now a week. I'll be moving to 6 starting next week, and then hopefully by mid-July I'll be at daily uploads. But the question I have is regarding live. I really want to experiment with live, and it's funny because I have talked to a couple of other creators in my space, Justin from Custom Thumbnails, just to ask him if he's ever utilized it with Epic Toy Channel. He said he hasn't. He said there's a couple that in my space that have, and they seem to get pretty good results. Now, what I don't want to do is just, hey, let me just upload a video of Chasing Cole, because I don't see what value that's going to bring to the audience. But on my last conversation with Trina, she had a really good idea where a couple of videos that we did previously on Mash'ems, those the little squishy things that come in the containers that kids open up. They've gotten pretty good traction. So she recommended creating playlist series just about the Mash'ems. So I did that. We launched a Disney Cars 3 Mash'em series, and then Thomas the Train Mash'em series, and we take the Mash'ems to different places. So we'll take them to the playground, or take them to Thomas Land, or yesterday we took them to I Play America. It was actually a really brilliant idea on her part, because it gives me kind of that extra content that I need to create each week. So one of the things I wanted to experiment was taking the live concept and trying to use it to support that story or that series. So last Monday, we did a live Thomas Mash'em's reveal, and I had Chase and Cole open up the Mash'ems on a live video feed, and these were the Mash'ems that were going to join the adventure that week. And then last night I edited the video and posted it for the Mash'ems that were picked. Went to I Play America with them. So I just want to kind of get your thoughts on that. If it is different in my space with live, specifically with my target audience, and I don't have a big following yet, so I'm not going to get a lot of people dialing in, I guess, whatever it is, to see live stream. But I did have probably, when we did it on Monday, I have 100 subscribers. We had about 10 or 12 people actually watching, and half a dozen were putting comments in and stuff. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, about leveraging the live stream feature to not as its own thing, but to support the content that I'll be posting. Right. One, as a way just to do something different, but also to help support, get me to that daily uploads, or even more of the daily uploads.
Yeah. So the thing with live streaming is that the whole reason why people like it and get into it is because they can interact with the creator, with the host, and and these are like 5-year-olds approximately, right?
Yeah. So it'd be their parents, really, the ones who would be
interacting,
hitting yes, I want to watch the live stream.
It's worth an experiment, and come up with a plan and try it a few times and see what happens. My feeling is that when you're going after a younger audience like that, most of the time they probably just they're not used to interacting, and they don't care about interacting. And if they wanted to, they don't not typing and spelling and everything is really hard and slow. So my feeling is that if you live stream, it wouldn't be for the engagement. It would be more for showing up at the top of search or suggested videos around a specific like toy or brand just for the period of time you're live streaming, and seeing what kind of traction that brings you. So when you're live, the YouTube promotes your video when you're live, so they push it on the homepage. They notify subscribers. It's if you're doing a video of like how to, or what are these things called, mashems? You'll probably be for the duration of your live stream be more prominent next to mashems. But it also depends. Like if the audience can't engage with you, though, will they keep watching, or would they rather just watch an edited piece about mashems that holds their attention more than one long uncut stream, right? So I think it's worth the experiment and seeing how the discoverability goes for you. But I would obviously go into it not expecting any interaction, if any at all, and focusing on just doing like a live show, knowing that you are currently at that time being positioned more prominently across YouTube for mashems or something at that point, and play it that way.
How does it, from kind of a big picture point of view, with YouTube, do they count a live stream upload the same way they count a produced edited video, or so if I'm doing 6 edited and produced videos a week in one live stream, does that still count as daily uploads, or is it considered different?
No, that counts. Yeah, it's video content that's there on your channel. Now, whether or not it perform as well, and then the replay value is the thing you're going to be testing out. But you might also say like, hey, the replay value here is terrible, but while we were live, we got a lot of traction coming in for this thing, right? And that converted into subscribers and things later. And then you might say, okay, well then we'll just live stream, but we'll just make it unlisted as soon as the stream is done. And that's actually a setting in the advanced tab of your live stream. You can set it to automatically go unlisted. So maybe that's the thing you'll want to use. I don't know, you just got to play with it, but yeah, it counts.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, the way I have it mapped up now, it's not going to be. I don't want to say it's not going to be a problem because it's a lot of work to do daily uploads. But I think I can get there within the next couple of weeks. And I'm just trying to find other ways to get more content up there. I know we talked about at some point going to multiple videos a day. I did actually speak to a few folks who were flagged when they did that, and you mentioned it about YouTube saying that they could potentially be a content farm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I think I want to tread carefully there. I think I'll be able to do it at some point. But that's why I'm just trying to find other ways. Like, all right, if I could do 7 daily uploads and then 2 or 3 lives, then I'm getting 10 video uploads a week, and that should at least get my foot a little bit of an edge over the competition. But at the same time, I'm just trying to be careful. I know Epic Toy Channel actually backed off. They were doing 3 videos a day. Now they went to 4, and they're trying to experiment to see if the impressions that YouTube is giving them is going to is any more or any less than when they were doing multiple. Yeah. So I'm just trying to plan ahead, trying to figure out the best way to get as much good content up there as I can on a weekly basis. And that's it.
Yeah, remember that a content farm doesn't mean you're publishing a lot of video. A content farm is when and I have seen channels terminated for this, which is when they have, like, let's say you have a clip of your kids and driving a big, one of their big wheels or something, and you use that in 14 different videos. Or let's say, and I did this a few times, so I just got a ton of stock footage of like tropical fish under the sea, put some music to it, and uploaded it to our kid channel. And then I recut that like 14 different ways, just rearranging the clips to see which one performs. They're like, that is just spam at that point, and that's called a content farm. So uploading a lot of video is not content farm. It's just if you're like just rearranging clips and trying to see which one happens and reusing the same clips over and over and over again. The videos are almost identical except for the order or something, right? That's what that is. Got it.
So just as long as if it's unique content, I should be okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. You could do 100 videos a day as long as it's all unique.
Got it. And what about, I have done 1 or 2 compilation videos, so if I created a series, then the last video of that series, so just say I did 5 videos in that series, the last video, then I would do a compilation of the previous 4. Would that be flagged? Should I stay away from doing that?
Yeah, if you do doing compilation videos are fine, but if you make 5 compilation videos all with the same clips rearranged in different orders, or maybe just slightly different clips, or you like variations of it or something, that's when it starts to get turned into like a gray area. So make a compilation, but don't make like 15 compilations with the same clips. So make like one for cars, and then one around like Disney, another one around, like, make them thematic, and don't do it that way.
Okay. All
right,
that's perfect. Thank you.
Man. That's good to hear from you. Cool. Well, we'll catch up later.
All right, thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Bye. All right, Myers. Well, it's not Myers. This up next here we have looks like we have Mariella from Nebraska. Hey, Mariella, how are you?
Compilation videos.
Hey, you can put the. It's like the surprise. Like, whoa, he just picked up and he's not done the conversation live streaming yet.
Yeah, he told me that it's delayed, so I'm like, I was not expecting it.
Yeah, it's around 30-second delay. So yeah, no problem. It's good to talk with you. You're in Nebraska, right?
I am in Nebraska, yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. So it looks like you're starting a channel, How to Grow on YouTube in Spanish. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you're trying to do there?
Yeah, about why?
Or what? No, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, what's the channel about? Is it about how to speak Spanish, or is it just a channel in a different topic where you speak in Spanish? Or tell me a little bit more about what you're doing.
Got it. Well, currently I do have a cooking channel also in Spanish, because Spanish is my first language.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about doing this for the last, 2 years. And I finally decided to do it. I just created my other channel. I just uploaded my first video. It's about how to grow on YouTube. I have been following you and a lot of other people, and I think on my cooking channel, I've been doing good, and it's been growing in a very good speed. And I feel like I really want to teach other people, to do that and to turn this into a business. But I was telling Trina that, I wanted to get a little advice from you, because it's different when I'm cooking, when I'm telling people, hey, this is what you need to do, add butter, and it's different now that the content that I'm going to be creating. And I might get some advice from you on mistakes that you did at the beginning that I might not, good for me not to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So is this cooking channel, the cooking channel will be in Spanish, or your current channel is a cooking channel in English that's already doing well?
No, both channels are in Spanish, both of them. But the second one that I just created is how to grow on YouTube, how to get more views on YouTube, how to grow the channel.
So basically what I do.
So basically what you do, but it's only in Spanish.
In Spanish, yeah. That's a very quickly growing, like Spanish and Portuguese down in South America. They're quickly becoming some of the fastest growing audiences, at least around kids. From my understanding, the adults aren't in those countries aren't so much the ones that are growing, but
they're still very connected to Facebook. Yeah. But I see that slowly they're starting to get into YouTube. Yeah. And it's funny because I'm 35, but my audience is 35 to 45. And you would think people that age are not interested on stuff like that. Yeah. But they are.
Well, it could be that it's kids watching on their parents' accounts too.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit, actually. So for getting started, like in this genre in Spanish, there's a few different ways you could do it, but I would just start with what you suggested there is make those videos on how to get more views, how to get more subscribers, ideas for how to come up with new content ideas for YouTube, just all those topics. I'm sure you could do some searches as well on YouTube and see what other Spanish YouTube educators are saying. Are there any of them in Spanish?
There's very few. I've tried to look so I can start, connecting with them and get collaborations and stuff. There's a very few. So I think for me, it's a good time for me to start doing this, and I want to jump in. And I've been thinking about it for so long, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. What's the success of your cooking channel? What in terms of viewership and subscribers?
Right now I have almost 5,000 subscribers.
Okay.
But my videos, some of them are doing over 100,000 views.
Okay. Yeah. So then, like, how I got to 5,000 subscribers, how I got my first 100,000 views or my first 100 views, or, those types of videos still do well. So yeah, I was just looking at what other people are doing. Now, I will give you one little thing that a lot of people don't consider in this niche, is that there is a high level of turnover. And I was actually just talking with a friend of mine who works at YouTube a few days ago at VidCon about this. He's over the education or is on the education team, which is like YouTube certified and YouTube Creator Academy and all those types of things. And he agreed with me that, yeah, a lot of people want to become creators. They start subscribing to channels like ours, and then a few months later or whatever, sometime later, they just realize how hard it really is, and then they just quit. But they don't unsubscribe. They YouTube just figures that they're not really engaging with our content as much, and so YouTube just stops surfacing our videos to them. So, for what it's worth, that is a unique challenge in the YouTube education space. But yeah. Pamela's chat says, you and Tim should work together on creating the Spanish channel and do videos together. Yeah, we could figure out a way to do that. If you see a video of mine that you like and you want to do it in Spanish, that could, I think there's something that like to be said for not plagiarizing, right? But
okay, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, to give credit where credit is due, and so like in the video I published last week, it was two YouTube employees talking about search and discovery. It's a 17-minute video. I took it and made it like a 5-minute video and just summarized it, and then pointed people to the video like, hey, if you want the full thing, or here's where I got the information, go check out this video. And I didn't pretend the content was mine. I said, I watched the two YouTube employees talking about this. I'm going to summarize it for you here, or talk more, or add my own ideas and thoughts to it, that type of thing. So you can totally bounce off other people's content as well.
Sure, as long as you give them credit. I understand.
Well, yeah, you don't have to. I just think it's kind of like people feel respected when you do, right? So for me, like when I was at VidCon, I was talking to one of the guys the product manager over search and discovery, and I said, hey, I just summarized that video you did on the Creator Insider channel, and I told people to go check it out and subscribe. It's just like, they're like, oh, cool, Tim's on our side. Tim is helping us spread our message, and that builds relationships, rather than them watching the video later and being like, hey, you just stole all that from us, right? So.
Yeah, and so another question that I have, you don't have to answer this. What will be the age of your audience? Is it young people? Is it old people? And then do you get a lot of hate comments and stuff?
It depends on how you talk about your audience. So you'll attract people who feel like you're talking to them. So for my audience, I'm going after hobby creators on my channel, and so it tends to skew, probably upper teens to early adult years. But if I were to talk more about paid advertising, which I don't talk about because that's not something that's important to my audience. If I were to talk more about, working with other creators, like you're going to pay them to promote you. If I was talking about product development, things like that, that would attract a different audience. So it depends on the topics you talk about and who those are for. Some people do what I do, but only in YouTube gaming. And so they attract a gaming audience because they're talking about topics that pertain more to live streaming and gaming in that regard. So you kind of get to pick who your audience is in that sense.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good talking with you. Thanks for calling in, and thank you especially for being a sponsor. And I really appreciate it.
No,
So.
no problem.
Cool.
It's just this is the first time you and I talk. You have done so much for me. It's just a little way for me to give back at you.
Oh, well, it's not little. I appreciate it a lot. So thank you very, very much. And appreciate you calling in. It's good.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We got next coming up here is Pamela from Sacramento. We're going to talk about Patreon here and getting started with that. So, hi, Pamela. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for calling
I can't
in.
believe I'm talking to you. I feel like I'm talking to Michael Jackson.
That is the first time that someone has ever said that to me. It's like,
oh, shoot.
Tim
he's dead.
Schmoyer, Michael Jackson, pretty much the same thing.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm new to everything. I started a business. I've been working on a new startup. It's called City Smart Drivers. And what I will be doing, I do not have one single customer yet, because when you're dealing with rideshare drivers, I'm a rideshare driver for Uber and Lyft.
Okay.
I have been since 2015. And I am working on building a community of rideshare drivers so that we can have a seat at the global ride-sharing economy table. It is $1 multi-trillion dollar economy, and we don't really have a seat at the table. We don't have any say for anything, really, and we're very dispensable, according to Uber and Lyft, because, we're a dime a dozen, and we have a 50% turnover rate. And I feel like that's just not the way I want to go out. I want rideshare drivers to have power. I want to educate us on everything we need to know about being powerful drivers. And so what I will be doing is training drivers on their values, training drivers on the ride-sharing economy, and also training drivers on how to book schedule rides. Because we are all independent contractors, but a lot of drivers, we don't really kind of understand really what that means. But I just had a big meeting with the California Public Utilities Commission. I'm in San Francisco, and I spoke to some of the top people there about how I should move forward with my business. Uber and Lyft are called TNCs, or Transportation Network Corporations. Mm-hmm. And if I want to be a TNC, which I don't want to be that at this point, there are a lot of white label Transportation Network Corporation platforms out there now. But that's not the route I'm going. The route I'm going is to be create a community of rideshare drivers and train them. I have Rideshare Drivers University. I have EVRideshareDrivers.com, electric vehicle rideshare drivers. And so what I'm doing is just really, really empowering us and training us. And so I'm setting all that up now, and that's why I'm just so happy that I found you, because I feel like you're a blessing. You could ask Trina. I was actually crying on the phone because I was so happy that you are doing this live. It just is amazing.
Well, thank you for being a sponsor. I appreciate you calling in and your support here. So I'm glad I can get back a little bit. So you're wondering how to set up like a YouTube channel to help funnel people into your business?
Well, here's my question. My question is Patreon, because I have to build some kind of income. I don't have like a real income right now, because one thing about rideshare drivers, you cannot go out and try to get rideshare drivers on a platform that is not ready, because we are very skeptical, very jaded. We have a lot of people that have screwed us over. Yeah. I'm not going to mention names because I'm not against anyone. I love Uber. I love Lyft. I love every single platform out there.
I personally always use Lyft because every driver I talk to says that Lyft takes care of them better than Uber does. So, but that's neither here nor there, I guess, in this conversation.
Yeah, no, that's important, and that's the thing. What I'm doing is 100% different. I'm just supporting the drivers and helping us to become more powerful, knowledgeable, and understand what's going on, and to book scheduled rides. Because, Uber and Lyft, those are on-demand rides. You know that, right?
Yeah,
so we're going to be booking scheduled rides.
What's the main value, though? Like, so I understand you want to give them information, but people, whenever they consume information, even like we're doing right now, people consume information because it's going to be valuable to them in some way. So like, are they want to consume, like, what's the reward that you're offering them? Is it to help them make more money in less time? Is it for them to save time or pick better rides and have less stress? Or like, what's the actual benefit they get that you're providing?
That is exactly what it is. Number one, right now, like I said, there's a 50% turnover rate with Uber and Lyft drivers. And so what I will be doing is helping us drivers to have more sustainability in our income, because we're going to have schedule rides. I'm helping us to learn. I'm teaching us how to book schedule rides. I've already done it. It's wonderful. We can do whatever we want. We are independent. So that's number one. Oh, go ahead.
So the main pitch here is I'm going to we help you make more money by learning how to pick up scheduled rides or something. So that's why this matters and what you're going to do. So learn scheduled rides and make more money as a driver. So if that's the value, then what I do is I don't really jump too quickly to how I'm going to monetize that. I usually start more with, how am I going to, how can I provide 10x that value through, if they're getting 1x through my podcast or 1x through my whatever brings them into my brand, whether it be YouTube channel or something, how do I provide 10x of that value? And so Patreon could be a solution, but you might find that a video course is a solution. You might find that doing like a paid local event is a better solution for providing the value. You might find that like a private Facebook group or something, like there's so I don't try to start with the platform and then figure out how to monetize. I start with how do I best provide the value I want to provide, and then what platform will help me do that. So if Patreon is if you feel like that's valuable and that's what's going to help you best deliver the value, I would think of it more as a membership site where people pay a monthly fee in order to access ongoing content that you're regularly adding for them to the site. That's what Patreon is. So for like $5 a month, you get access to this monthly content. For $10 a month, you get access to this monthly content. At $25 a month, you get to access like a call-in show or, whatever you want to do. But that's like, think of that as a membership site. But that may or may not be the best solution for you based on what I've heard so far. So that's why. Yeah.
Well, that's great, because that's why I called you. What I am planning to start out with, which I've already done, I've been doing this for 2 years, all my research and everything. And so now I'm ready to launch whatever it is I'm going to launch, or however I'm going to launch, which is why I'm calling you. And so what I wanted to start out with is creating a super, super awesome viral video. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be viral, but I believe that it could go viral, because it's going to be 101 reasons why rideshare drivers rock and everything else in between. And I do have 101 reasons that are amazing. And so I just wanted to make a really, really powerful video that is full of information. And yes, it's going to be long, but then I could go over to Instagram and chop it up into, shorter ones. But that's how I wanted to launch, and this is just my idea. And the reason why I wanted to launch on Patreon is because I don't have any customers yet, and I wanted to have a platform where they could actually, have a place to come to, number one. And here's my question to you. I feel like the one thing that we do not have as drivers, we don't have profiles. And so, rideshare driver profiles. And so I have a website and I have a membership site and all that I've paid to have built. But I just feel like if every rideshare driver had a Patreon profile, just like I would have a Patreon profile, that would be awesome. But what I would like to do, and that's why I wanted to ask if maybe you could talk to Tim. I mean, I don't know the guy who started Patreon. I can't remember his name.
Conte?
Jack. Oh, I love him. Oh my God. Oh, his wife, her voice, she's so amazing. I just love these people. I love all of you guys. I just feel so blessed, like I said, to be a part of this community and to be able to change the lives of, hopefully millions of drivers, because there's 2 million rideshare drivers in the United States.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But anyway, so the point is that what I was thinking of Patreon Tribe, right, which is a whole new type of a service that Patreon would offer. And basically the way it works is that Patreon Tribe is where I have my Patreon account, but I can bring people under my tribe. If you could talk to Jack to see if that's something that is possible.
Well, I think that
go ahead.
Patreon's roadmap is a little different than that. So what I would probably do is you would probably have more. Well, let me say it this way. I would, first of all, before spending too much money and time and energy into into like Patreon or membership website, I would first say, can I first attract people to follow this ride sharing, this account, and you should have something that they could buy, but make it more of maybe just have it be like a private Facebook group or something for now. Just can you get someone to go from 0 to 1 with you before you kind of figure out the 60 to 100 thing? Because I've seen too many people put together this whole business model and spend $100,000 on a custom website and have all this stuff ready to go, only then to launch the content, and then they realize, oh, we missed our audience, this isn't working, everything we just built needs to be changed now, and we need to so that I would start small and just see, can you start attracting attention before you jump into investing a lot into the product side. So I think you should have the product side.
There's one thing I haven't told you, though. There's one thing I haven't told you. I have over 500 surveys from my riders directly and from drivers directly and from business owners directly, over 500 over the last year and a half, that I took actual surveys. And this model that I actually have created is based on what the surveys have dictated. I didn't even create this myself. And so this is what... Oh, go ahead.
The thing about surveys is that they tell you what people think they would do. They don't tell you what people would actually do. So, for example, let's say if I took a survey and said, here's my product. It's turn YouTube into your career. It's $249. Would you pay that price, yes or no? Almost everyone's going to be like, no. Or they'll say, yes, absolutely. And then I launch it and they don't, right? Or it's asking, and then people who say, no, I won't pay that, and then it comes out, they're like, oh, it's $249. Well, I guess that's what I got to pay. And then they pay it. So surveys are helpful for strategy type of things, I guess. But even at the end, behavior is different. People's actual behavior aligns differently than what they think they would do. So I think a survey is good.
Okay.
And that'll help you be in the right direction. But I would still want to be can I get someone to just really start following? And you have 500 already, so maybe start with those 500 and see if they'll start following and engaging, and then start learning what do they engage with. And I was going to launch this product around this, but all the feedback I hear around my content is actually about this, and I need to make that instead. And I would just, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, the only thing about Facebook is that I have so many Facebook accounts. I just feel like Patreon is a platform that's there, and it's something that I feel like I could work with more so than Facebook, because Facebook, even though, I can do Facebook Live videos and then bring them to Patreon, I just have so many issues with Facebook. I said, I literally have 5 accounts.
You could do something else. It doesn't have to be Facebook. I was using that as an example. So...
Well, don't you think Patreon would be perfect for me to get started? Because I basically have the content ideas ready. I haven't made the videos yet, but I'm going to start making them. And I plan on making 2 videos a day or more, because I have so much content to produce in regards to, they're just countdowns. I call them power countdowns. And it's just really information,
it could
about
be totally what you need to do. And so I just wanted to make sure you weren't jumping into that without having done actually grow the audience first. But if you want to launch the audience with Patreon, Patreon's easy enough to change. I'm going to be changing mine here in the next day or two as well, so you can update it if it doesn't work and pivot if you need to. But yeah. So,
well, what do I do about the profile thing that I was talking to you about, though? It's like, I just know that the drivers are going to want to have a profile, and is there a way for me to also encourage them to get a Patreon account?
Well, in order for them to support you on Patreon and access the rewards that you provide, they're going to need to make a Patreon account. So,
they have to make their okay.
Yeah, they have.
I didn't know that.
They have to create an account in order to support you and give you money. So and access the rewards. So yeah.
But how does that work in regards to them, though? So it's up to them whether they want to make it into a full-blown, profile.
Right. At that point, they would, they can just create a simple account and then change it later if they want, or they can, but at first they just need to create a basic account, link their billing information, and then decide if they're going to pay you like $5 a month or $10, whatever the reward tiers are that you set up.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, that is a good start. And so then in regards to the actual profile, we can work on that later. The main thing is at least I'll have my community, start building my community.
Yeah.
So what do you think, honestly, about the 101 Ways That Rideshare Drivers Rock video? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would probably personally cut it into several videos. Maybe try. I think 101 is going to be too long. I would make it more consumable, like 9 prime numbers always work better for some reason. So like 9 ways or 17 ways, and then do like another 9 ways or another 20 ways or something. So I would cut it up so you can
make it add up to that. I see. What you're saying.
Make it a series instead of all the 101 at once. I think that would be too much.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to do them in 1-minute chunks on Instagram, since they're 1-minute videos, and just make 100 videos. The thing is that what else am I going to do? You know what I mean? I'm kind of up against Uber, a $64 billion company, and I don't have a budget. So I got to do something that's a little bit more outlandish than the average person.
Well, Uber started from zero also, so you can too. You can grow from there. So, does that help? Okay. You all right? Yes.
Oh my God, it helps me so much. I'm so excited.
Cool.
And great.
Thank you for calling
so much. And yes. And I'm going to join all of your different programs or different platforms that you have. And
okay.
Yeah, and I want to do what you do, like I said, but for drivers, because you're just active all the time and you're always having live videos. And that's what I want to do with drivers, because that's what we need is live videos, and interaction. So thank you.
Yeah,
and
you're
I
welcome.
Appreciate it, and I look forward to being a part of your community.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yay! Bye, June. Bye, everybody.
Great, guys. Well, that went really smooth, I think. Didn't it? Like, compared to last month, where it was just we were trying to figure it all out. But thank you guys for your support and for everything that you guys are doing to help make this possible for me to continue to support you guys. Like, I really do appreciate it. And this is the type of thing that I want to do. So I was reading your chat and about doing these types of calls, like letting sponsors call in on the public live shows. And it seems like you guys agree that I think it would be a good idea. I just had to figure out what to do if someone signs up, becomes a sponsor, gets the phone number, then shares it. That's the main thing I would need to figure out. So maybe I'll try it maybe once and see how it goes. And if someone does it, I'll have to just, change the phone number, which isn't a big deal. It's just more that show then just becomes cluttered stuff. But maybe we'll try it if you guys think it's a good idea. And then hopefully I can get you guys in front of more people as well that way. So I think that would be a lot of fun to do that. So you can talk about yourself and your channel a little bit more in the context of a bigger audience as well. So, yeah, guys, well, thank you for hanging out. And we'll be doing, my goal is to do this at 2 p.m. Eastern time every Monday. Or not every Monday, the last Monday of every month. So mark your calendars, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys again next month to do one of these, unless, of course, I start integrating these into the normal stuff. So thank you guys for calling in, for being so awesome. And thank you, Trina, if you're still listening, for taking these calls and moderating them and queuing them up for me and getting all this stuff, making sure it works. So really appreciate your help, Trina, and thank you everyone else. And we will catch up again next month for our next call-in live show. We'll see you guys then.